If you're looking for a powerful Naya Commander or you're looking for powerful Naya Commander cards, we're here to talk about the first 5 cards to consider when building your Naya deck.
And the video starts right now. Hello and welcome to the day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I'm Jake.
I'm Joel. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. We are going to talk about Naya in Commander. It's a great shard filled with behemoths. But first, if this is your first video that you're watching with Jake and Joel Are Magic and you want to stay up to date with the latest decks and strategy for Pioneer, Commander, Historic, Standard, Brawl, you want to talk about MTG Finance, news and specs, or you just want to see us open some booster packs, hit that subscribe button before you go.
Yeah, and if it's the second time you've watched a video, you have to subscribe. It's a rule around here.
You're obligated now. We appreciate it either way. We are talking about Naya cards, and where else better to start than Mayael? When we pick these cards, we are picking cards that are all 3 colors, strictly have all 3 Naya colors on the card, and we feel like these 5 are a good representation of the shard itself. Mayael the Anima is exactly Naya. Pay 6, tap it, go get a power 5 out of the top 5, and put it right onto the battlefield.
Yeah, and something to keep in mind with Naya is it's a color that's based in green. It draws its strength and its support from red and white. Right. So you need to keep in mind that if you're building Naya and that's like a color that you really want to exploit in EDH, probably base it in like a lot of ramp type effects or ways to get out ahead of your opponent.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to want to ramp because you're going to want to play cards that are mana intensive, like Marath, Will of the Wild. Pay 3, enters the battlefield with +1/+1 counters on it equal to the amount of mana that was cost that was spent to cast it, and this is cool because if you're casting it from the command zone and you're having to pay the tax, it's going to get more and more counters on it every single time you cast it.
Yeah, this card is really cool. I remember playing against this card back in the day. I think it's really fun. The card previous that we were just talking about, like being able to ramp into like Eldrazi and stuff like that, it's like that's really what you're trying to do. It's strength, it's ferocity, it's big creatures. It's very in a way like kind of like a Timmy kind of colors, but not hating on Naya at all. It's just that's kind of like what it is. It's like big, huge creatures, big, powerful effects.
Absolutely. It offers you a little bit of versatility in that you can grow one creature really large. Red gives it some direct damage that you can just shoot your opponent with, or you can go wide and put a lot of tokens onto the battlefield and then grow those tokens all together in one big swing. Marath represents all 3 of those. Pay X, remove X 1/1 counters from Marath. You can either put a +1/+1 counter on a creature to grow that one big creature, deal damage on the red side just directly to face to target creature or player, and I believe this also has been errated to include planeswalkers, or put an XX green elemental creature token on the battlefield and start going wide. I mean, this is all of the things that this color does on one card.
Yeah, and we're always talking about versatility around here. Versatility is a really good way to ensure that, you're not dead in the water when you're at your weekly EDH game.
Yeah, absolutely. The 2 V's, versatility and value, baby. And here is some value. How about paying 5 mana for a 2/5 that when it enters a battlefield creates a 4/4, and then when it swings, doubles or replicates a creature token that you have onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking.
Yeah, this is just like, it's a commander that you're dead on board. All right, well, play it because you're going wide, baby. Yeah. It's all built into the commander. So it's really good. And the more you can play this, the better it's going to be. I imagine you build it around populate effects, stuff like Anointed Procession, stuff like Doubling Season, and it can get out of hand really quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And the best part about him is that Gira doesn't have to populate that 4/4 token with Trample. It can populate any token. So if you can get some kind of crazy 10/10 avatar token onto the battlefield swinging, Conclave, Exile, old Gira is going to double it. Here's a good representation of the go wide strategy, Titanic Ultimatum. Okay, pay 6, 7 to go 5/5 first strike, lifelink, and trample to all of your creatures.
Yeah, and I'm happy that this card is included. I know that you included this card, and I think it's a really good representation of Naya. It's big, it's first strike, it's lifelink, it's trample, it's everything that you want to happen to your side of the field. And where better place to cast a huge splashy spell like this other than EDH? It's just like, I don't know where else it's going to get played.
Right, exactly. You've got the green mana, like you said, that's going to be able to ramp up to a spell like this. It's got Leonin in the jungle in the art, which is just Naya to a T. It's just such a perfect representation of it. And you want to talk about another perfect representation of Naya, granddaddy of them all, Zacama Primal Calamity. It's 9 mana for a 9/9. Vigi, reach, trample, enters the battlefield, untap all the lands. If you cast it, untap all the lands that you spent to cast this dude. Then, for 2 and a red, lightning bolt. 2 and a green, naturalize. 2 and a white, 3 life plus. It's just, this is all of it. This is all of it.
Yeah, this is, 9 mana. So think about it. Every time this gets removed, it goes up in mana. So if you're not playing this in a ramp deck, you're doing it wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, yes, this is a card that is just going to single-handedly take the game. It's going to sway the game. I wish, honestly, that it said can't be countered. I think it should kind of have the, I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't say can't be countered.
Some kind of caveat.
Yeah. Just because it is so expensive, but it's an excellent card. There's a reason this card is so expensive. Rivals of Ixalan doesn't have a lot of cards in it that are super good. There's some good cards in it, but as far as money goes, this is where the real money is, and it's because of a format like Commander.
Right, yeah, you can't beat a 3-headed Elder Dinosaur. That is 5 cards, but we did put an honorable mention on here just because it represents Naya so hard to me. Godsire. This is from Alara Block. It costs 8 for an 8/8 Vigi, but Godsire can tap to put another 8/8 Beast token onto the battlefield. You were talking about tokens to populate with Geared? Booyah, here you go.
Oh yeah, so good. And if you have something like Anger in your graveyard or any effect like Fervor that's giving your creatures haste.
Fires of Yavimaya.
Yeah, dude, you just play this, tap it, make an 8/8, swing with that, again, it's a card that by itself goes wide, and if you do have any kind of token multipliers, oh man, this card is just nutty.
Exactly, and it fits perfectly into the mold of cards that Mayael can cheat onto the battlefield. That brings us to the end of our Naya rundown, our top 5 plus honorable mention. It is a very Timmy shard, like Jake said. It is just very like play big stompy things. Hope you don't get the board wiped. Swing through, trample damage, stomp your opponents into the dirt. That's what it's about.
Yeah, if you're playing Naya, make sure you have a heroic intervention in your deck that's a little honorable mention, something that's going to give your permanents hexproof and indestructible. But other than that, we hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah. It's been a great time.
Absolutely. Like we said, if you wouldn't mind, hitting that subscribe button would really help us out. If you want to support us further, we got a Patreon. Go check that out. The link is down in the description below. And if you want to hang out with us, we're streaming most Tuesday and Thursday evenings over on Twitch. I'm tapped out until Mayael finds me in the deck and summons me to the battlefield.
Yes. Oh gosh, it sounds like Mayael is breaking into the video. We gotta get out of here now.
Here comes Zacama. Run, everybody, run!